What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. I hope you all having a great Sunday. Um, huh. Well, actually, let me try something real quick. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do this real quick, like this, for a second, just to see how that goes down. I actually like the white one better, but anyway, let's talk for a little bit. Um, Shout out to Red Supreme. He does a good job, kind of going over some of the older bitter bitch brigade, all that shit. But I wanted to I was listening to him. He was talking about Paris Milan, and whatever. I mean, it's yeah. But anyway, one of the things that kind of struck up with me that I wanted to talk about was one thing that black women believe is they believe that you can go online and you can, or listen to people online and have all of this anger, hatred, bitterness, jealousy, insecurity. And you all believe you all can hide that shit. You all believe that in amongst black men that you all are sexually attracted to. And I don't say that like I'm not, a black man that women are sexually attracted to, but I want to remove I say these things because in these conversations, women like to hide behind the men they don't like. And it's like, well, you're not checking for them anyway, so it doesn't matter. You're not being insecure. The black men you don't like are not the ones that are making you insecure. Obsidian talks about this all the time. So it's irrelevant to have the conversation. Shout out to Sam I am with the $5. Appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit my Cash App. It's irrelevant to have the conversation about men you're not sexually attracted to, because the truth is, the point. Here's the thing. I don't make these videos, and at least how I approach this space, in my personal belief, people have every right to want who they want for whatever reason they want. Now, they're going to have to be accountable to those reasons, but that's as far as their quality of life. That's as far as their outcomes. And when I say accountable, I don't mean that's whether it's the wins they have or the losses they have. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the decision making you are. As Hip Hop Preacher says, you are where you are because of how you think. And that's whether you're winning or losing. Nobody thinks about shit when they're winning. You don't roll the tape when you're winning. People only roll the tape when they're losing. This is why people learn more from losses than wins. So whatever. But I don't do this in order to convince women to date certain type of dudes. And that's one reason why I bring up, to the extent that I do bring up the height, I bring up the height because I want to be in that way transparent. I also, and I understand it's something that black people pay attention to. And the thing about it is, this isn't some game where people, oh, you need to pick dudes based on production and they might not be 5'9". Like Donovan Sharp talks about 5'9" and 50,000. I don't care what you pick for why you pick it. I really don't. That's not my concern, because at the end of the day, you have a right to do that. The problem comes in is when two things is when all black, like Obsidian has said this, all black men get blamed for your problem. It's not even about certain black men doing shit to you. It's about you have a problem with what you can't get. That's your issue. And nobody would care if women didn't create these social movements saying what all black men don't want. And I'll give you a perfect example, because I try, so a lot of times I act like I knew everything before I came to this space. Until like real talk, Kevin Samuels did his show, and I've observed multiple black women talking about they've been proposed to, and at first I just thought they were lying. And Kevin was proving some of them were lying, but some of them weren't. And I'm like, okay, so you all got all these. And then shout out to BGS when, he said his daughter was proposed to by the father of her child. And so this, because, the idea that you hear is black men are just not proposing. And that makes sense, because when you look at child support and being in the state, I mean, why would you add alimony to it? But the truth is, a lot of black men are proposing a lot more than what is being said. And you're only just now starting to see in the rise of disease where they're really not on that shit as millennials are starting to get older and older in the dating market. Like the youngest millennials now are pretty much like 25 or 26. And then you get in that 24 to 26 is really bleeding edge millennials. That's that transition. So really the solid millennials are like 27. And then at that point they start to bleed into the next generation. So so really, you know, when you look at 27 and in 18 years 37, 45, so millennials are between 37 and 27 and 45 years old. So they're the last generation that's really gonna at any level talk about marriage or they've been married or anything like that. The Z's are not on that. And that's why you're starting to see a rise of black women on TikTok and stuff reacting to black men being indifferent, which is not that black men are being indifferent. Black men are just not going to deal with disciplinary problems. So the point is that you have what you have is you have a finite resource, which is men that are productive, men that make money, even genetic currency to men. There's a finite resource. We're talking about the things, the commodities that women value. Because we always talk about high value men, but we don't really talk about high value traits. Because every woman is not necessarily gonna necessarily. It's not even so much about wanting, but it's more about what you can get. Like, so women so if a woman makes a custom package of what they will accept, you know, usually certain things gonna be like looks don't get really entered into Kevin Samuel's high value thing. Or it's not that it doesn't get entered, it's just not talked about. And the reality is looks is a factor, especially amongst black women. A black woman, they can talk that shit about $10,000 a month, but the reality is, if they got to choose between a dude that makes $10,000 a month or a dude that is like between 5'10" and 6 foot and up, and they got to make a choice, they're going to choose the 5'10". They're going to take their chances, and they've demonstrated that in a lot of those calls. They will stay in those relationships even if they try to bitch about them later on. So the point is, you know, I believe millennials are proposing to black women. And I didn't know that before. And so now that I know that, now that I'm armed with that, I now understand, you know, now we go back into what BGS just dropped the video talk about being a village wife. And that's really what a lot of these women ultimately want. And this is why the deception is necessary. Because if they lay shit out the way they want it to be, then dudes are just going to opt out. Dudes are going to either do the intercultural thing because they really want to keep it black, or dudes are going to go SYSBM would spread like a goddamn T virus and Resident Evil apocalypse. If niggas hear that, and when I say hear that, they hear that and they start to believe that, because a lot of dudes will be in denial. Motherfuckers like, even I just did a video with, you know, them niggas in New York, you know, they gonna go Spanish, you know, they gonna go Spanish real quick. They're just bouncing. They're bouncing, and black women know that, which is why, you know, this gender war is really designed for deception. That's really what it is. It's designed to preserve the deceptions versus dudes are like, let's lay everything on the table. If you want to come in, you do. If you don't, you don't. And this is why, you know, this stuff is important, because a lot of guys are fighting for a community and they don't really understand the terms that they're fighting for. Like, you're dealing with women that, quite frankly, they want to be village wives. What is a village wife, for those of y'all that don't know? A village wife is basically a woman that has the ability to have multiple kids by multiple different men. And just like how you hear that women monkey branch from man to man, imagine if women are basically like bees that are pollinating flowers, and the black man's a flower. So they're getting the seed, having the kid, moving on and on and on from baby daddy to baby daddy to baby daddy. And then they expect the village, aka the state, as well as black men, to take care of all these kids, whether you have them or not. Now that may sound like that's extreme, but a lot of black women are on that. Now they mean, and you see it in how they've acted. 64% of black women that have two kids have been born more than once. Like you don't see that in every other group like that. And that's not, but and what we do in the black community is we use slavery as an excuse for what motherfuckers are doing right now. And you saw that shit really, really, really start to accelerate once child support started being implemented, and once a lot of this welfare stuff started to be implemented. This is why, you know, when other women went the opposite way, the more economics they were given, and then black women stayed the way. That's what it is. That's what most of them want. Now, just all of them know. But when you look at, you know, people will say, well, what about Nurse? Well, she's Jamaican. Like, honestly, if we're talking about ADOS people, because that's specifically who I'm talking about, a lot of the exceptions to the rule, you'll find they're not ADOS. You look at what's people will say, oh, what about Chantel Simone? Not ADOS. What about Nurse Nerd? Not ADOS. What about Jessica X? Mixed. You'll find somewhere where that culture pattern is not there, because like those are asterisks. And so you'll you'll generally always find it. Does this mean all ADOS women are like this? No. But most of them are. And remember what I've always said: you're a single mother in the mind before you ever become one in reality, because it's a culture defect. So, so that's what you really see, and you see those attributes and those traits translate into other things. You know, this is like when you look at, like, let's just keep it real. I'm gonna keep it all the way honest with you. For the most part, you be a motherfucking fool. Just like we all know, everybody is not gonna make six figures and up. Everybody is not gonna be married. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You're more likely to make $10,000 a month than or make six figures or higher than you are to get married and then live till death do you part. If you're gonna live an average lifespan, that's not gonna happen. And that's why I don't even know why people even give those vows anymore. Honestly, marriage should be contracts. But the main part of this, but that's me setting the table. Shout out to Justin March for the $5. Yeah, appreciate that. You be an idiot thinking that today, because these women are not cultured in that way, and the environment definitely doesn't force the issue. The environment encourages the way women are, to the point where even if you're married now, honestly, allowing a woman to be on, like, I know a couple of married couples that they're on social media together, and that was kind of like it's not even a compromise, but that was like the rule. You know, and they're on it together. Their whole family is on it. So if motherfuckers do some stupid shit, they're getting shamed from everybody. And a lot of these women, and I know the couple of them that are in that situation, their mother, they would get shamed from everybody. Like they like them dudes got backup as far as the elder women, because they weren't raised to be that way, and they would not be allowed to be that way. They would be completely excommunicated. Like, it's 3 women I'm talking about. They're in that situation, and they didn't come from perfect households either. They, 2 of them had stepfathers, but they knew their real dad. But they did it under the normal rules of when the shit was in its heyday. And so anyway, that's me setting the table. But the main topic is this idea of compartmentalization. Women believe that they can get online and they can have. Here's the thing. This is what people need to understand. You know, I used to dabble in hypnosis, and one of the things you learn about hypnosis is you learn about trance. And you know, people are when you drive your car, you're in a trance. You may not think of it as a trance, but you're doing actions in which you are not actively thinking about it. When you talk, you're not actively thinking about necessarily the words you're going to say, you just do it. When you drive, you're not actively thinking about how to drive and stuff unless you come into a thing. You're not thinking about that. You just do it. And in a way, and that's also a part of trance. When you look at music that you listen to and how your brain interprets the music, you're not necessarily listening to the lyrics necessarily, but your subconscious is. And when you listen to a lot of this music, this Summer Walker, SZA, Keys Cole, like that type of music, these women are constantly listening to this music. They actually sell the emotion through the music, because that actually what sells music. You either sell sex to guys or you sell emotionalism to women. So they create lyrics that these women can identify with based on how they are. This is what was going on before you had women like Paris Milan, Cynthia G, Crystalline Karazin, Chrissy, Yanni Red. Before you had these motherfuckers that was doing it just via talking, this basically coping mechanisms. You had coping music. Here it is, man. Appreciate it. Your start, yeah, you start, their coping mechanisms. And so before the music came, and if you listen to the music, in the music in the 90s was what? A whole bunch of synth music with dudes a lot of the time. And then it was the women, a lot of those songs where they always would talk in the lyrics how they like you, but they don't know if you're good for me. It was that struggle between they knew what the quote unquote best thing for them was, but they knew what they wanted. And now that evolved into them choosing what they wanted, and then the aftermath of what they chose, which is the Keisha Cole music, the I'ma bust the window out your car music, the all that other when they break up music, and then it evolved into the slut music, which is the stripper music in the 2000s, and the dudes validated that too. And now you get what you get now, which is pretty much strippers teaching strippers, and then women that are on some mother goddess like ultra. Like these women are not like a lot of these women that are making this music. It's not mentally healthy music. It's just not. And I'm not trying to make the dudes off the hook, because you see what dudes are doing, shooting each other, killing each other. You see them doing that in the rap game, but this is not what we're talking about right now. The point is, all that stuff, when you think about it, you look at what these black women are the most looking at TV when it comes to this reality show shit. They are the most in the demographic when it comes to music, as far as listening to music. So they're getting it in their ears. They're getting it. Remember, you have 5 senses, and if you want to program somebody, the more senses you can take control over, the more your brain has to submit to that programming. Your ears, your eyes, these are the most dominant. Your ears, what you hear and what you see is the two most dominant senses in your brain, especially with hypnosis. And if you can add touch into it, yeah. But so what do you have? You have what you see with this reality show shit, what you hear constantly. If it's not the music that gets popular, it's the not only reality show shit, it's the Megan Thee Stallion, all that shit. Then and then what you hear is you're listening. You see how much we're on YouTube, and the YouTube over there, the woman's sphere. All they're doing is they're listening to bitches. Like they're not listening. They like if I would have tell them to give me their favorite YouTube, they're not gonna say no. They're not gonna listen to no positive shit about black men. All they're hearing is these women basically have therapy on YouTube and basically talking about basically what they can't get. And then they're trying to make black men the problem, as if black men are the only men in this world. Black men are not even only African descendant men. Yet they do it. They could do what Tasha K did. Go get them a dude and be done with it. They don't do that. Because it's not really about black men. A lot of it is a reflection in them not being validated in this society. And they understand that they can be punished for lashing out against anybody else. So they lash out against us because that's a safe place to lash out on. So they put the onus on black men to fix them. Black men can't fix you, just like black women can't fix black men. This is why in this space we may call the fuck shit out about what they do, but nobody really disagrees about self-improvement. But self-improvement is something you do for yourself. Self-improvement is not something you do for them to basically validate you self-improve. Because again, you're giving them the power. When women talk about leveling up, they never talk about self-improving. What do they talk about? They talk about leveling up the man they can get, as if it's just a matter of them deciding to do so. Appreciate KT for the $5. As if it's just a measure, as if all they have to do. I may check it out. I'm generally not a big fan of Jason Whitlock, but obviously a clock can be right twice a day. But see, that's another thing too. Jason Whitlock is considered a coon. So if you agree with Jason Whitlock, even though people will agree with Candace Simone a lot of times, but even if it's a clock that's right twice a day, it's like you siding with them. That's how them niggas see it, because a lot of them dudes look at this from a very rudimentary standpoint. But anyway, black men can't fix you. Let me tell you something, and I'm not going to accuse people of bleaching because I don't know and I haven't looked deep enough into it, but I will say this: if you're bleaching your skin, that's a mental illness. I call that a social mental illness. And in many ways, anorexia and bulimia are usually illnesses that are begotten by certain social dynamics that triggers that. When women start not eating, why? They're buying into a body type. There's a reason why black women, you don't never hear black women really catching alexia or bulimia. That's some shit that typically white women or people that are dealing with a white standard deals with, because white boys don't like fat bitches. Now, you don't see that as much. It's still prevalent, but it's not as prevalent, in my opinion. Now, I need to do research to see if this has gone down, but you would assume that in the Kim K era, like that really probably helped a lot of white women, because white women were already thinner because they were forced to be that, but they're not forced to be that thing because the standards have adjusted. So that helped them a little bit. So, and then they were able to get validation from other groups, which helped. So the point is that's something is generally social factors is generally what triggers women going to that extreme. And you see the same thing with skin, in my opinion, with skin bleaching. Skin bleaching is the same thing. And the weave is more of a gateway drug. I would say the body mutilation, because that's what it is. Getting all this plastic surgery is body mutilation. You're not gonna tell me no different. It may not be socially good, like nice to say that, but that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like, once a woman is starting to go to the DR in order to do that, that's essentially what it is. Yeah, 1 second, y'all. So a lot of this comes back to, really, all of this is, at the end of the day, is it's them lashing out, and then they want us to fix them. Black men can't fix you. So it's a waste of time. Just like how you can't fix black men. Because it doesn't matter the validation. If you're insecure, you're insecure. I mean, that just is what it is. Just like when you're dealing with I ain't saying Nick Cannon's insecure. I'm not gonna talk about Nick Cannon's motivations, but Nick Cannon's, it doesn't matter. Nick Cannon, think about it. Nick Cannon has been dealing with thoughts for a long time. He literally has a whole system when it comes to wilding out. Yeah, that's another good way of it. Desirability politics. I call it womb talk, but that's another way of saying it. But that is what it is. That's actually a good way to say it. I like to call it sexual politics. That is what it is. But exactly, y'all. What? Ayo. Oh yeah, y'all talk about Brazilian, but yeah, like once, and it's crazy because these will be now. You see dudes shaming men for going to DR and all that, the trick to get the dick wet, but let these women do this. Women are just gonna stay on code and keep it a secret. That's what they're gonna do. And the thing about it is, that's some insane shit. Because the thing is, the DR ain't even the best place to do that. If you're gonna do it, Colombia is much more known for that. But this just goes to show you how cheap it is. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you can't tell me that you're willing to put your body at risk like that just because you want you trying to compete with other women. That's bullshit. That's a lie. I don't give a fuck. That's a lie. You're doing that because you understand that there's resources that come with men valuing you. Now, you may not have want to give it up sexually, but you still perceive resources from men valuing you. Point blank, period. Yeah, Colombia ain't as cheap as the DR. So you're gonna have to put some. But Colombia is known for plastic surgery, because a lot of them Colombians be getting it too on the low. Not as much, but it's big there. People don't realize that. But at the end of the day, that's a mental illness. And then you're not going to tell me no different. It may not be socially viable and commercial to say that, but that's how I view it. Does that mean I'm not gonna fuck a bitch? That it not necessarily depends on how it looks. I can show you pictures of how that shit looks. In fact, you know what? You know what? Let me see. I don't have it, but what I might do is I might do a video. I mean, if I do a Patreon, I might do like a showing different women, because this is what I know what they aim. I know what they're trying to look like. But the problem is they're going about it cheap. And what's funny, this is how you know this is how you know it's crazy. If you were thinking about this logically, the logical thing would be to get you a sugar daddy that you can make money, either strip or get you a sugar, do something that you can make enough money that if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it right. Not no do it like this ain't no car where you could do it fucked up and then just buy a new car. This is your body. And well, we're past destroying the black family. I ain't even on that shit no more because that is what it is. But my point is you can't compartmentalize this type of anger. Like women, like when you hear women talk about, they'll say, well, when I'm around the right man, I fall in my femininity. That's actually not true. You may get sexually submissive, because you want to fuck, but that's not really you falling into your femininity, because that's not something you can just turn on and turn off. That's not. Because really the real tell is how you deal with that dude. This is why you'll see women in multiple different types of relationships over and over and over again, or dealing with multiple dudes at the same time. Because a lot of these women are dealing with multiple dudes at the same time. And then they talk about, well, falling in your just because you want to have sex with a man does not mean you're falling. That's not what falling into your femininity means. I did a video a long time ago talk about the difference between black women don't understand the difference between being feminine and over sexualizing themselves. A lot of black women view being feminine as twerking. They view feminine as taking, how much clothes are you taking off? So they get very, very sexually aggressive. So, and here's the thing, I'm not saying that being feminine is you basically being, being submissive to every man that you walk in front of. That is not what I'm saying, because that's what the opposite becomes. People want to say, oh, well, you saying that I'm supposed to be nice and smile at every random ass nigga? No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say that you're a feminine woman and there's somebody you don't want to, you don't want to talk to, like, I won't even say talk to nobody. Let's say, you're still, feminine women understand how to create inviting auras to dudes they want to talk to, and they know how to create more reserved auras. It's not, nigga, you better not talk to me, but it's more of being closed off. It's a lot more subtle. And if a dude does talk to them, they know how to say something that's not necessarily aggressive, but it does telegraph that they ain't trying to talk to you. But say it in a way that that a guy gets the message, but they not on some angry shit. Now, are there some goofy ass niggas that are slow? Yes. Yes, there are. There are some dudes that are going to push the issue because they're goofy in their lane. But generally what women will do is say the same thing, say the same thing different ways. Even if they got to say, look, I'm waiting for my boyfriend or blah, blah, blah. They'll turn it up a little bit, but they're not saying, what up, nigga, get the fuck away from blah, 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 blah. Because they're not interested in trying to belittle somebody just to big themselves up. Women that get off of like trying to belittle men, these are women. This is no, I'll give it real. It's no different than dudes that always want to say, oh, look at, she fat, she a 2, she a 3, she ugly, blah, blah, blah. This is no different than if I bring certain women over here that they may be big, but they got a value they can offer. dudes just going out of their way to say what they look like even when they're not there. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. And a lot of these women, they're narcissistic, so they believe that the only way they can big themselves up is by belittling somebody else. This is somebody that's going to go out of their way to try to say somebody's short, even if somebody ain't even trying to holler at them like that. This doesn't mean they got to like short guys, no, but it's the way they go about it. And see, what women think is women think they could just switch up completely when they get around the dudes they want to have sex with. And so a lot of the Myron calls it girl game. And I know he's not the only one to ever mention that, but that's really what it is. So this is why a lot of these women, when they get in front of dudes that they like, it's this thing on TikTok called smash or pass. And it's basically, sometimes it's dudes doing it, sometimes it's women doing it. When they'll be like smash, 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 pass. And I pay attention to like when the women do it, because I'm like, okay, all these niggas, fuck the niggas you said you ain't go smash. Pass the pass niggas. What about the smash niggas? So all these niggas that you said would smash, you don't know nothing about them. All you know, and these be like, some of these niggas be raggedy, but whatever. All you know is based on how they look, you would smash. And this is actually very telling, because what it does is it showcases, and this is not just black women that do it, but black women do it a lot. It shows that if the only thing that you're requiring from a dude, if you're saying that I would smash him, so basically all he's got to do is not talk himself out the sale, right? And you would smash, then and you're doing it just off he looks. Why would he do anything else? Why would he do anything else? And people will say, well, yeah, I may smash based on how he looks, but he also got to have other things. No, you don't. No, he doesn't. Because this is what a lot of you all are doing. Because this is what, this quote unquote slut shaming is about. This is what you all want to be sexually free is about. And understand, I've called white women out on this too. When white women talk about all the guys they quote unquote hook up with, I'm like, stop saying hook up. Say fuck. Say what it is. You're not giving these motherfuckers hugs. Like, stop that. Stop trying to use wording to minimize what you're actually doing. It doesn't sound better because you're using different words. I hook up with this guy, I hook up with that guy, and we just hooked up. Like you all just hooked up, like you all just had a meeting or some shit. No, you fucked. You probably sucked his dick. You did all that. Stop trying to make it seem like it's better than what it is. The fuck? I hate when motherfuckers do that. And white women are a lot more prevalent about that. So when you sit there and it's like smash, smash, smash. I saw one smash, smash. I'm like, okay, so clearly a lot of you, and I've seen multiple videos of multiple different people doing this. Like, and I'm like, and this is not like staged. Like these folks really mean what they say, because a lot of these women be getting mad as fuck if a dude say they won't smash them. And I'm like, I don't even know why you would even subject yourself to that. Because to be honest with you, if you're not somebody like, look, I'm 5'5". I already know that if you're like, I'm not putting myself in that position. Now, there's a difference between hollering at chicks and then getting rejected and then putting yourself in some kind of lineup. I'm not doing that. Because see, a lot of them same niggas, you start switching it up and talking about, all right, well, niggas that got X amount of money, now they're mad. And see, here's another thing too that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of guys, like if people want to play the Pookie and Ray Ray game, I'm not saying those guys only deal with certain women, but a lot of those guys have to deal with a certain type of woman. So a lot of that's where the octane system comes in. But anyway, my point is, a lot of these women will think that the same attitude you carry towards dudes that you don't like is the same. All of a sudden, when y'all come across a nigga y'all want, y'all can switch it up. No, you can't. That's why y'all throwing pussy at these niggas. Because y'all assume if I throw pussy at a nigga, then that nigga's supposed to do what I want. That's what y'all think. This is why, going back to that Ticket TV and that and argument with that Lemonade dude, this is why these women feel so betrayed when a dude is not committed to them because they had a baby. If y'all saw BGS's video with a village wife, what did he say? It ain't nothing. He showed a video of a woman saying this. It ain't nothing for these women to have kids. They see marriage as much more of a commitment because they're submitting to an institution versus them having a baby. Because they understand that they can have a baby and still have their independence because the state backs that up. So they don't see having a baby with a nigga as much of a commitment. They don't. This is why when motherfuckers talk about the nigga not staying and all, I'm like, you talking about yourself. Cause that sound like some carrots and shit. You tried to have a baby with a nigga, and that nigga told you he didn't want a baby with you. You did it anyway, and he called your bluff. And now you're mad. And now your daughter's doing God knows what because she basically got a lot of that energy from you. Like it's kind of like Darth Vader. Like Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader because one event, him trying to jump on a high ground and getting cut the fuck up. Super Duper says, speaking of short, shout out to Super Duper with the $5. I'll let you read that. I mean, the thing about it is, the shit doesn't matter because my thing is, it's just like, I want you to think about this. If I were, we talk about the weight issue because we're talking about what we don't like. And another thing is, men are not, you will rarely hear men talk about shit that a woman cannot control. Women can control weight. But my point is, men are not out here walking around, making fun of fat women. We don't make it a point. We're to make we'll say, yeah, nigga, only broke niggas really deal with that, and there's a problem because really we talk about it because how black men interpret it. Because a lot of these niggas deal with allow bitches to be fat, because they want these females to stay fat, so these niggas don't got to do shit to earn them. That's really what's going on with that, and a lot of motherfuckers don't want to say that. But that's really what it is. They know if you fat, nobody else is going to want nobody else damn sure ain't going to want your ass as far as other races. So a lot of these niggas will create an aura, and black women fall for this shit, but they'll create an aura of that shit so they don't got to compete. That's really what a big part of it is. They know they could be broke. They know your ass ain't going to be able to get no dude that makes whatever amount of money because you broke. I mean, because you fat. They know this. So a lot of these dudes like kids like Hansel. I'm gonna call it the Hansel and Gretel effect. They know your ass ain't going nowhere, and they know you can be you'll have to simp for them, meaning they can have a room and board. Real talk. But you don't see black men just going out of their way like, like I need to talk about fat women as a pick-me-up. Like, and it is what it is, but truth be told, this is the beautiful thing about talking about something as an individual. As an individual, as a man, you can basically improve. Hell, if you want to talk about game, yes, you can improve your game. You can improve your social skills, your financial ability, your capacity, which gives you the ability to tap the country, to tap the planet, to put yourself in different environments. There's a lot of things men can do. Men have very linear, you can lift weights. And then one person made a great, I think it was Nick, I'm not sure, said that a lot of motherfuckers in New York, like a lot of women in New York don't even like buff niggas. They like more the basketball body type. And what they like is the money. They like the money. And it makes sense because higher cost of living in the Northeast would mean that the economic currency is going to carry more value. And then they look for swag. So, you have people that they do that because they need to make themselves feel better. And that's really what it is, because that's why Kevin was able to get so big, because think about it. When you remove that, okay, fuck them short niggas. We're only talking about niggas that are 6 foot that are paid. But guess what? Nick, that's 14% of the population. So how you going to qualify yourself to get that? Because them niggas know what they are because they've been validated. Now you remove that from the equation. But see, a lot of women get insecure with that. So what do? They talk about who they better than. That's why a lot of these women don't like dating dudes that make more money than them. They like dating dudes that are compromised, as Roger would call it, because it makes them feel better about themselves because they have control. A lot of women have control issues. And so they date dudes that they know are beneath them. And see, the thing is, the dudes that are not that are fine because, again, black men are 6% of the population. But then on the flip side, now it becomes all it is. Well, niggas don't like black women. Niggas don't validate black women because those are those insecurities manifesting. That's what it is. So when you put these women in front of dudes that they like, these women, the goofiness comes out. And all they know how to do is throw pussy at a nigga. And that's why, and dudes don't care because dudes are relatively simple. That's why they there in the first place. And this is why women get put in the hoe zone. So they start getting mad. They start putting themselves artificially in relationships with these guys. They start getting angry, upset, insecure because they only got one move. Their only move is throw pussy at a nigga. And that shit don't work on dudes that can get equal or greater value when it comes to you. It doesn't work. Throwing pussy at niggas don't work on niggas that are used to getting pussy. Yeah. That's all it is. And so when you and the point of this video is what you have, and it's not just the content creators, it's also the people that listen to that. You really believe that you listening to these females don't affect the ones that are in relationships. That shit will affect your relationship. And why did I did this video? Red Supreme said something that was big. Red Supreme said that he thought that Paris Milan's boyfriend was a pussycat because there's no way that her boyfriend will allow her to talk that reckless about black men. And then I had a woman into my chat, supposedly, that she kept on saying, what did she say? What the fuck did she say? She thought she was being goofy, but it was actually funny. I don't think she really understood like what she was saying. So yeah. So anyway, so it's this chick, Merge Girl 2000, right? And she said, I don't hate black men, but I gave up on you because you gave up on us black women a long time ago. These are narrative stories these hoes like to say. As usual, this is a chick with a cat avatar, so she's not showing her face, which I don't, but whatever. But I said, then go date out and be great. No need to comment on mofos you gave up on. And then she said, I've already done that, young blood, which I've never heard a woman say young blood, which means this bitch is old. Love having a high value quality non-black man in my life. Okay. So you love that. Yet, and I said this, yet you're still here. My channel is a small one. If you found mine, I know you listen to black female bitter content. If you good, why be here at all? Stop. And I told her, I said, stop disrespecting your non-black whatever, because I don't know if it's a situationship, relationship. I don't know. Whatever. By hoping black men are going to give a damn about you. Move on. That's it. That's it. And I'm like, and I gotta tell you, like, you know what I would love to do if I wanted to be an asshole. If I shout out to everybody, if you haven't liked to subscribe, make sure you like the video. Let me see where we at with the likes, man. Y'all better, cause likes are free. Y'all supporting the channel with the likes. Hold on. And I'm telling y'all right now too, y'all need to go ahead and get you a TikTok, because I may start kind of a red pill channel on TikTok. That's gonna be fun. We're at 73 likes with 170 people watching. Let's get it over 100. Let's get over the 100 mods. That should be the main thing you should be pushing is them likes. Much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We've been getting some good growth, so I definitely appreciate all the new folks. Man, I deal with women. I've dealt with women today. Wife. I don't. You know, I really don't care. Like, I really don't. No, I didn't believe that. That's not like I was being serious, but I was being serious, but I'm going based on what she say. I'm not going to argue that. Why argue that? That's just going to create a back and forth. I'm here to make a bigger point. My thing is, if you have a high, if you're not, assuming you're not a liar and you have a high value non-black men, so why are you on my channel? Is like 4,300 subs. My channel is a small channel. My channel is not built to really be found in the algorithm like that. I've designed it that way. So if you found my channel, if the algorithm showed you my channel, there's certain people I know you listen to. Because the way I tag my channel, it's only a couple of YouTubers I put in my channel. And I don't put gender war in my channel. I don't put, as far as titles, I don't put all that. So if you found my channel, I know you're digging into the content. You're digging into this content. You're going deep in the rabbit hole. Shout out to David Carroll. You know, just like how you don't find David Carroll shit, even though you got 30-something thousand subs, he's been banned. I don't think I've been said, no, I ain't gonna say all that she wants me. But what I'm saying is, I know you're looking. That's why when Ned said she was here to learn, I took her at face value and said, okay, all right, cool. You here to learn. I ain't heard her comment since, but I said, here's some channels that are going to help you learn in a way. Cause I know I do a lot of rants and I know people that can kind of focus this information a lot better for you. And these are dudes that got kids with black women, got, daughters. They date black women. They date mostly black women. They got black children, date dark-skinned black women. That's why I gave them Ron Wells, BGS. I even gave them BGS for women so they could hear how other women are interacting with what he says. I gave her pink book lessons. I gave her Crimson Cure with the first one I gave. Pink book lessons. I gave it to her. I gave her Love Doors. I said, this is, if you really want the perspectives, and I did it with a way that she could absorb it in a way that's good for her as a woman. Because she's hearing it from other women, from men that are committed. I even gave Jason Black the business. So she can hear it. So if that's really what you want, I gave it to her. And I said, some of these people are better than me. Because the way my stuff is, I know people ain't got the time to listen over and over and over for me ranting and raving. So I wanted to give them some good shit. And I haven't heard her since. Shout out to Rodney for the Cash App. So I did that because I'm here to help. I believe in being a repository of the information. But anyway, my point is, I told her, I said, okay, I'm going to assume all that is true. Okay, so why are you here? You want a high value man, like you got a high value non-black man. Why are you here? I know when women move on, women are indifferent. That when women hate a dude, they're still emotionally invested. That's why when you heard like Sierra talk about Future all the time, people are much more jumping on Russell Wilson because we know if you date a single mother and she talk about her baby daddy all the time, that's a tell. That's a tell. When you deal with a female and she's always talking about another nigga, that's a problem. And you're not gonna fix it. The only way to fix it is to leave and be like, all right, I just need to charge this to the game like bad credit. Just like how banks make loans to motherfuckers they knew they shouldn't have made a loan to, you loaned your time to a motherfucker you shouldn't loan to. And you just cut it off. It's not even about you being mad. It just is what it is. She's not out of her other relationship. That could be her imprint. You don't know. And I'm not in the business of trying to override imprints. I'm just not. It ain't about capability. It's about is it even worth it to do that? And a lot of these women, they think that dudes can just save them. Like, oh, all it takes is the right man. No, it doesn't. Like, remember what they say about when you're ready to learn, the teacher will show up? Well, when you're ready to act right, the right man will show up. The right man, yeah, I've saw that, the body language stuff, James. The right man ain't showing up because you ain't who you need to be. And that's assuming you ever will. So these women always talk about all these niggas ain't shit. All these niggas ain't, think about it. Y'all listen to that Ticket TV shit. Y'all listen to how them niggas are talking. These are the niggas that these women are around. And you're around that because that's what you like. You're right. Yeah, James, that is true. And that and you saw, and what did you see with boys? Same shit. But at the end of the day, y'all really be believing y'all can listen to all this bullshit with these women, and when the right dude comes up, the only thing you gonna know how to do is fuck. If that. Because all of y'all can't fuck like y'all think y'all. Just because you give a man sexual access don't mean y'all know how to give head and y'all know how to. Most of y'all aren't even good enough at sex to just keep a man around just off of that. Most of you females are not that, because y'all think, a lot of y'all think that just being good at sex is just giving sexual access. And then y'all wonder why y'all get cheated on. Because y'all can't fuck like that. A lot of y'all really can't. And we know dudes always get judged off of that, but women don't. I was laughing my ass off when Ramil was saying light-skinned chicks can't fuck like that. I was laughing because I'm not going to say that's true, but because light-skinned chicks could mean like women that are half Hispanic. It depends. But the point is, a lot of y'all, I fucked him. Why? Or well, maybe I need to have his baby and he'll stay. Why isn't he staying? And then y'all do it 2 or 3 times like fucking morons. To niggas, they clearly have demonstrated that they not that type of nigga. And what makes it so crazy is, I'm not here to tell you what to do, because if you like how a dude looks and you want to fuck him, that's cool. But certain dudes, but you would think if you all are the most educated, that you all would be smart enough to understand these are niggas that you fuck, these are niggas you have a baby by, but you all are not educated enough to really because you don't even hear black men really talk about body count. You don't even hear the manosphere talk about that. The manosphere is like, you know what? I ain't gonna give so much of a fuck about that. As long as you ain't on OnlyFans and the motherfuckers can Google your ass, or motherfuckers in the city, I'm getting all these looks, or you ain't got a baby I gotta look at every day. Most dudes can actually let that go. That's why you don't really hear us talk about body count. So this ain't about, okay, well, you fucking niggas and then you're done. You have your whole phase and then you're done. No, you all always got to come out your whole phase with a graduation present, aka a little bastard that you expect other niggas to raise. Do you all not? Man, I saw this post one time of this female saying, establish dominance by taking food off his plate, and then another dude said, yeah, and then go to the bathroom and leave so she can pay that bill. Even something as simple as that, now you got to call in the question, because women, there are women listening to this fucking bullshit ass music that they actually think that way. If you as a woman are trying to establish dominance or a man, being fuck meat is the only thing you're ever going to be. Because the truth is, because if you're always trying to do that, then a dude will realize, hey, this woman likes me enough to fuck. Let me fuck her, and then I don't deal with her at all outside of there or minimize it because she's problems. And you got women that they have control issues. Even Love Dorsey talked about that. Talking about a lot of y'all can't find a good man because you are a good man. You're always, a dude is trying to sit here and say, well, what can I do to protect and provide for a female I like? And then your bitch ass is out here looking to, how can I dominate this nigga? And I'm like, yo, are you serious? And see, the problem is a lot of dudes are not. Dudes are worrying about you shit testing them. Man, again, the best part of the game is fuck with who fucks with you. And you should always have a woman in a position where, look, I can leave. Like, you don't even got to deal with the shit test, to be honest with you. Donovan Sharp talked about 2 shit tests that, quote unquote, that Devin gave him. Talking about some fucking soap, some fucking floss on soap. And another thing about when he cleaned up the house because he wanted something from her. And he said she ain't gonna use that as an excuse. And then she expected him to do it again. And then he basically cussed her out. The thing that gave Donovan power is Devin believed Donovan would leave her ass. And a lot of you niggas will y'all talk about checking a bitch. You can't check. You don't have to. I'm going to tell you a secret. And I was fucking with Locast to a certain extent because I know how to check a bitch without hitting her. But I wanted, because I'm tired of dude saying that, because he didn't give the other answer a long time ago either. You can't check a bitch you not willing to leave. if a bitch knows you the best she can do, that shit ain't gonna matter. You can't check a bitch that you want her more than she wants you. And a lot of y'all will engage in relationships around that dynamic. Yeah, you can fuck a bitch that you want her more than she wants you. But guess what? If you fuck you don't gotta have a relationship with a chick like that. Honestly, you should never, and this is what thing they never say about self-improvement. You don't self-improve because you want validation from a female, but if you want to create the ability for women to want to qualify, women have to qualify themselves to you. In order for them to do that, you have to be the prize, but you have to become the prize. You're just not necessarily the prize just because you're a dude. Some of y'all actually believe that. It's based on what you've accomplished and the power that you have. This is why I always say you give up your power when you say, I'm only going to date black women. Because it's like you saying, this is like you having all of the best cable companies, but you say no matter how fucked up Spectrum is, I'm going to be with Spectrum because that's all I know. You know, let me give you an example with some of you niggas can understand. I'm going to give it to you in a way you all can understand. This is like you being a motherfucker New York Knicks fan in your whole life. You ain't never seen them motherfuckers be good. But you say, and you got the Brooklyn Nets right there, literally in New York. But you niggas like, you know what? I'm a loyal nigga. I'm be New York Knicks fan. You be like, what, Spike Lee? You Spike Lee until they kick Spike Lee out. That's what you niggas are doing. It's like you all being loyal to the New York Knicks, knowing good and well they ain't never gonna be good. Ever. But and shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Thibodeau getting coach of the year. Well deserved. But that's how a lot of y'all, it's sports. I get that. Y'all do that with women. Y'all do that with women. I had a dude, and I always got respect for dudes that do the type of work where they'll be in a mall, or they'll be in a mall, or they'll be in a like a Walmart, and then they're trying to get customers with foot traffic. I respect that type of work because it takes a certain amount of tenacity to do that type of work. And often, you know, I'll give them my card. One dude, it was a black dude. I was walking through, and I was doing an in and out run, and then he was like, "Hey, who you got?" I told him I got AT&T. As I'm walking, he said, "How much are you paying?" I said, "I'm paying 110 without hesitation." And he said, "Oh wow, that's a good price." Yeah, yeah, it is. And I get 1,000 MPB. Yeah, that's for my cable and my internet. I get a really good deal. So I paid $50 for my internet. And my internet is 1 MPB. And yes, I have my shit is hard lined up. So I'm getting the speed for that. Yeah, my point is, imagine and see, I used to have AT&T, and I left AT&T and came back because I was paying a hell of a lot of money. But you know, these companies change up, so they get certain stuff. No, I had DirecTV, and my thing, what if I would have stayed loyal? I'd still be paying $400 a month. Now, I had my cell phone, cable, I had all that stuff looped in. But now, if you look at my cell phone, I'm only paying, because I paid my cell phone. Technically, I got 2 phones. But one phone that I got, because one is a business phone, but my business phone I got on I got Mint Mobile with that, and that I pay what is it? Like I pay like $180 for the year because I don't need internet on that one. So really it's just $15 for a whole nother phone, whole nother line, and then I pay $50 a month for my other phone. With unlimited internet. So technically that's $65. And I got a Wi-Fi hotspot with that too. So that's $65 plus $110. So I pay $175 for what I was paying like $400 for. And I got better services across the board with all of that. So I got 2 phones across the board with all of that. More internet, more everything. But if I would have been loyal just to be loyal, then my dumb ass would still be paying what I'm paying. But this is what black men do. And this is not about hurting black women. This isn't about giving up on black women. But female nature dictates that a woman doesn't pre-qualify you unless other women already qualify you. So you have that's what people don't understand. That's female nature. And so if you sit here and say, if you allow women to be the only ones that qualify you, then you're gonna put yourself in this loop. And this is how people stay in the friend zone freezer and they never get the fuck out. Because they're looking for the same women to qualify them rather than look. It's kind of like, okay, the best way to really look at it is think about like the Loki TV show. Shout out to that TV show, really good TV show. So you got, the timeline, and then you've got what they do, which they operate outside of the timeline. They operate outside of the timeline in the multiverse. If you're in imagine everybody in the timeline is a friend zone, meaning if you operate outside of that, you have to disconnect in a certain way, because if you're attached to an individual female or what females validate you, then you're subject to the timeline. Versus if you're outside of the timeline, you can look at where somebody's born, where somebody dies, go to, timeline to timeline like it ain't nothing. You're on a different dimension. But see, that requires a sacrifice. That's why in one of the episodes, like in the first episode, Loki said, I can't ever go back, because he can't. Once you're taken out of the timeline, it's done. And I think they took out his timeline because he had a branch timeline, just like Sylvie. And I'm not even going to call it red pill, blue pill, but you're looking at it you're in a different frequency, and you can't go back into that frequency. Now, technically you can, because dudes simp all the time for certain women if they don't simp for other women. Like, for instance, let's say y'all are not sexually attracted to fat women. Fat women whatever a fat woman says to you doesn't matter, because you're not sexually attracted to them. So you don't give them the same kind of weight that you would give a female that you are. You can say what you want to about Six Goddess, but if Six Goddess started talking shit, you're gonna take that personally a little bit more, because she is not an ugly woman. So what is your job? Your job is to develop the ability for that whiplash to be as minimal as absolutely possible. You never get it to what I call absolute zero, where you're not affected at all, but you can get to a point where what they say does not matter. And the truth is, if you got bitches you can fuck, even if you got bitches, let's say you got like 2 or 3, let's say you got a chick that's a 5, but she got a fat ass, and you're an ass person. Let's say you got 2 like that. You're not going to be as mad if a chick tries to play you, because you can get pussy. But or let's say you can't date a 5. Let's say you're young. You're like, let's say you date like a 42-year-old that maybe she don't got kids. Like that chick that was on Kevin Samuels thing one time. She was light skinned. She was on there for a minute, and Kevin had her on there because I know the last one he had Courtney on there. But he had that other chick that really looked good, and she ain't had no kids, but you can tell she had some feminist tendencies. Let's say you got a chick like that, and she really likes you, because now it don't matter, because at the end of the day, she's done it. She's washed anyway. She ain't going to be in no relationship anyway, when she going to have kids and family. So really, that's what she is. So she's dating you. Let's say you're 10 years younger, but you got your shit together, all of that. And then she's like, and you allow her to kind of, I still got it, blah, blah, and she look good. You may not be in a committed relationship with her, but and you got that. See, that's how you using sexual access availability to you as a man as a mechanism for these other women to not have power. But what happens is you got these women where these dudes are starting to do what these bitches have been doing. They collapse on like these handful of females from a sexual access standpoint, and they're overvaluing them to the point where a lot of these women are starting to turn extremely narcissistic. This is why I don't understand why when niggas talk about dudes traveling overseas, even if it is just to get pussy, guess what? That's not affecting the market in the United States. So if you don't do that, that's actually taking that simping and taking it elsewhere. So you're taking simping out of the American market, which is something these dudes should champion. These dudes, if you want to do that, you should shame dudes doing it in the U.S. and encourage them doing it outside the U.S. Because if you're never going to travel, that makes your life easier, supposedly. Which is why I've never understood dudes going out of their way to talk that shit about what other dudes are doing. Yeah, as but the thing about that is a lot of dudes do take what she says seriously. Well, yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't want to be honest about. But my point is that as your job is to solve the sexual access problem and create a system for yourself that makes it so you're dealing with that and you're not out here hunting. But see, a lot of dudes don't think about that because a lot of dudes don't think outside of that because they don't really understand the situation as it is. But long story short, it's the same thing in reverse. But you got these women, like, think about it. You got women like Paris. Paris is supposedly, like, we know she wears weave. She wearing weave, bleach. You doing all this shit for what? Because you want to be validated for what? Like, that's beyond a man at that point. So they'll come in here talk about, I met this guy, this, that. I'm like, you cannot have this type of anger on YouTube that you're spewing all the time. And then think that you just gonna meet motherfuckers out in the street and you gonna be cool. That shit will come out. Y'all think y'all really out here thinking y'all can hide the bitch. Y'all can't. And it's to the point now where y'all are actually wearing y'all disgust on your sleeve so much so that these even the motherfuckers y'all want ain't checking for y'all. Because y'all actually believe that if I'm a bitch to every, because a lot of the motherfuckers y'all checking for, quiet as it kept, used to be the niggas you wasn't checking for. Because so think about it. Not only didn't some of them dudes self-improve into who they became, but also a lot of dudes y'all weren't checking for in your 20s. Now you might be checking for in your 30s. And them niggas may just had general progression. But guess what? Because they remember how women used to be, now y'all got a problem. Just like how motherfuckers want to say that, like, Michael B. Jordan didn't like black women. Apparently, he had sex with Superhead at 18 years old. So no, he never not liked black women. But the question is, are you gonna deal with all the bullshit that black women bring just to fuck? No, you're not. Now, if you're a dude, now if she likes you and she's throwing it and she's doing shit, fine. And I'm not saying there's only certain dudes that are like that. It depends on what type of women you're dealing with, as far as black women. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, I'm out here fucking. I'm out here trying to fuck. If it could either be with a black woman or not. But what about having black kids to be a pro-black? That has nothing to do with me trying to fuck. Okay? That has nothing to do with that. I can fuck nothing but Latin chicks and then turn around and have a kid with a black woman. That's what all these niggas be doing to these chicks. They be fucking all these black chicks, and then when it's time to have a kid with their own, whether it's French Montana or Cali, what do? They have a kid with somebody that they're their own. That's what they do. That's what they do. Because they can compartmentalize that. Women are not talking about, like, this is how I know it's sexual politicking, because women are basically trying to hold you accountable for their desirability. It is not our job to make them feel desirable. It's their job to put themselves in a position where men desire them. That just like how it's not women's job to validate a man. It's a man's job to put himself in a position where he becomes the prize. That's a byproduct of it. But with women, it's all of these isms: colorism, featureism, body positivity ism. It's all this. Well, all of that is a way of telling men, you need to change. You need to take me as I am. And here's the thing. Men don't get to go get their body done to be like 5'10" or whatever. Men don't get to, have surgery to get their dick bigger, or hell, they barely got shit to help dudes with their hair nowadays. Usually dudes still gotta go bald. We don't get to get pecs and get all this other bullshit. We gotta do it the real way or don't do it at all. Ain't no, oh, I'm getting my finances just straight. Dudes can't just, like, some dudes can sell dick, but very vast majority of dudes can't do that. And then the ones that can aren't really doing that. Not really. You are supposed to change, but they you need to take them as they am, and then they got all these things, so they lazily do it. Doesn't that sound familiar? It sounds just like how the reproductive shit is. Women can literally have sex with who they want when they want, and relatively easily abort a kid if they don't want to have a kid. Yet they still doing the same goofy shit. They literally have, like Captain Planet said, the power is yours. And yet, what are they doing? Still polluting the motherfucker. In fact, they're worse than when they started. But black men are the ones with the issues. No. And this is why I say it. You know, I go back to that chick. You know, you're sitting here on YouTube. If you found my channel, I know you on this motherfucker a lot. That's what, because y'all don't see women really come through my channel like that unless they heard me talk somewhere else. And whether you found me on some pro-black shit or whatever, the point is you're supposedly happy. You're supposedly happy wherever you say you are, yet you're here all the time. The motherfuckers are getting worse. You're fun, like now women have gone into self-mutilation. Black women were never known for getting plastic surgery like that. Black women were never known for even getting tit jobs like that. That was some shit that white women were known for. Now these chicks are getting lips, tits, ass, fat transfers. Basically, this is shit. If you actually know game about strippers, this is what strippers used to do. A lot of this shit. But a lot of strippers had creative ways of how to yeah, we're not even going to talk about, you know, black women that do get on birth control, will use birth control as a mechanism to try to naturally change their bodies, or they'll get pregnant and abort a kid in order to try to go through the hormonal changes to change their bodies. This is what they used to do. We're not even going to talk about all that. I'm very much aware of some of the deep, dark shit black women do that doesn't even get talked about in the manosphere, because I'm not trying to air black women out like that. But I'm very aware of the fuckery. I know a lot. Honestly, I know a hell of a lot more than what I actually say online. There's certain things I'm just not going to say online, because I'm not going to say. I know a lot of the bullshit a lot of women do. And I know this drive. This is why when motherfuckers go, I don't like short guys. I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm like, that's cool. But that's cool. I mean, yeah. But when women go out of their way, like they got to try to say that, it's like they need me to feel bad, so that I've literally had, I'm not saying this to brag, I've literally brought women to like parties or to like, you know, get-togethers and outgoings where the other bitches there were dumb. When I say dumbfounded, and I'm talking about some of them were even dark-skinned women too that I brought. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say. I got a picture where I got this like checkered tie, and it's not just checkered; it's black and gray. It's actually it's my favorite tie. And it's not checkered in a way where it's just some checker, like it's literally sewed in. So it's like folded into itself with it being checkered. So it's really great tie. And it's a tie. It's not a clip on, it's a tie. It's a tie. And then I would wear that with black, with a black button up that I like. And then, you know, whatever, shoes, whatever. So it'd be a whole matching thing. And then I had my girlfriend at the time. This is actually one of the ones that was fit. And you know, very smart. Anyway, I had her go get a dress that was like that dress that what's her name? what's her fucking name? The chick from The Mask, the first Mask. You know who I'm talking about? Like when she really looked good from The Mask. The the female in there that he liked, the love interest, a dress like that, and she got it black and gray. I don't think it's not Kirsten Dunst. You know who I'm talking about? Cameron Diaz. Yeah, that dress. And I made her get one that was black, it was gray, and I gave her the money to do it. Because I already knew she knew. I said, get one that matches this, and I didn't need to go with her because I didn't like to do that. And also, she know what she's doing. These bitches were dumbfounded. And I didn't, and it was funny because I didn't go there in order to, I don't go there in order to impress. It was actually me looking back because I was just going there just to go there. And it was a friend's birthday party. And we went to this, it was like this Caribbean place. And these hoes were dumbfounded. And the dude, yeah, you know, niggas try to throw their little shots too. But that's not what actually, I'm used to that. That's actually not what kind of like I remember from that. These bitches, like they wouldn't talk. And they kept on staring. And I'm like, I'm like thinking to myself, you know, I'm showing a face. Like, why the fuck are y'all staring like that? Like for real. Like, and it was funny. That shit was funny as hell. Like and it's like, and I'm like, why is she with him? And it was funny. It was funny to me because it was like their reality was fucked with. And and what they were probably wondering, some of them kept asking me questions. They were probably wondering like, what did I do and all that. And let me be clear here. She's very, like, she's very attractive, but her body is banging. And so anyway, my point is, from my perspective, I can cycle. It's like sales. It's a numbers game. And the more you cycle through people, the more you learn, okay, who's most likely to gravitate to you, what's the choosing signals, and knowing how to look for that. And knowing how to look for that to increase how many hits you have. See, as long as I'm willing to cycle through women, and I can deal with that whiplash, and I don't look at it so much as rejection, I look at it as qualification. Because somebody doesn't know me, and they're saying if they don't like somebody because they're short, then that's them. That's a preference. That's not necessarily a rejection of me. That's just they don't prefer it. It's a qualifications thing. That's all it is. It's just like, technically, if you go get a loan and you don't qualify for the loan, that's not really you got rejected. You just don't qualify for what they're looking for in a customer. That's it. And you look at it the same way. It's a numbers game at that point. And I'm not saying that you get to a point where rejection don't matter, but it's a numbers game. That's all it is. And if you get women that deal with you anyway on and off, then you don't have this thing where it's like, oh man, I'm like insecure and stuff. Like, see, women can't deal with that. Women can't look at it from that perspective. They can't. And most dudes can't really do that either. That's why they always get lumped into this game shit. And this is what a lot of this game shit don't tell you. But ultimately, you know, they're looking at it from, oh, you're short, the end. Guess what? You're it's kind of like with variance and with time. You fade. You're just one of a lot of numbers. And it's no different than when I put leads through my sales funnels. I don't see that. It's the difference between putting leads through my sales funnel and me calling is I'm calling. I'm done with the call. Even if they cool, they just go to the next step. That's it. And we're not even adding it to the fact that if you get enough money to where you can change your environment, and that doesn't even mean going overseas. You can change your city, because the Northeast is going to be a certain type of way. Texas is going to be a certain type of way. The West Coast is going to be a certain type of way. Florida's going to be a certain type of way. You know, regions change, cities change. But if you're just stuck in your own county, that's like you only being able to deal with one thing. And things separate. Hell, music comes out in certain places differently than others. And in the United States, clothes are a lot less expensive in New York. It's very easy to travel, very easy to move around now. Well, you got COVID, but you get what I'm saying. Hell, you could go up north with a fucking mega bus. So my point really is, it's a lot of it is about perspective. And a lot of folks don't have perspective because they haven't expanded their mind enough to expand their capacity for perspective. This is a big reason why I tell you all you need to travel. Because even if you don't fuck a bitch, you seeing a whole bunch of black women in fucking shape is going to be a mind fuck for some of y'all. Even if you don't ever have sex with them. You walking up to a female and you talking to them and they're actually having, like, they are happy that you walked up to them and interested in talking to them, even if it never goes anywhere, is a mind fuck for some of you all. I can give you many reasons to go overseas, even if you're never going to have, even if I tell you you're not going to have sex, even if I tell you to not have sex, why it would be beneficial. But see, a lot of dudes don't like rejection because a lot of dudes, especially with black men allow a black woman to define their manhood. I learned very early on because of circumstances that shit was not going to fly. But a lot of dudes, they look at women like these bitches look at men. They look for women to validate them. That's what they look for. And other groups are not that bad with it as we are. They're not. They're not. And that's the first mistake, because you give them power. Like, black women are automatically put on a pedestal to most black men. And then you wonder why they act the way they act. And it's like, why? Well, because I want to be loyal to the black woman because, I want to have black kids. You can have black kids. You can fuck 109 black women and still have a black kid with a black woman. What are you talking about? Sexual access has nothing to do with who you want to have a family with. Where do you get that from? You get that from a bitch. That's where you get that from. Because truth be told, if you bring a black woman that's not ADOS to a whole bunch of ADOS black women, especially if that black woman looks better than him, there's going to be a problem. Shout out to Pablo. Let me see if I want to share. I'm going to end this video by sharing this. Let me see if I can find it. Pablo did a video called The Premier League versus NBA players. And in this video, what he's showing is hold on. What he's showing is basically the wives of these premier players. Now, keep in mind, none of these guys are ADOS because, black men don't play soccer like that. And this is an example of what you get when you can tap the planet. But what we do is and this isn't about divesting. Understand, this is about the power of choice. And that's why I talked about that one woman supposedly in my comment section. I'm not over there listening to what the fuck they got to say like that. I'm not over there sitting there, I'm really not. But they're pretty much talk about what black men don't do and how they're a victim and all this other bullshit. But these are the same women that want to talk about divesting. Well, if you can go be great, go be great. Go be great. Oh, I already have. I love my non-black high value man. I mean, first of all, you're using the term high value because you heard Kevin Samuels say it. I mean, why are you fronting? You're not helping nobody by getting like you're on social media all day. Like it'd be like me coming on here telling you yeah, man, I'm 5'10". Yeah. Why are you up here fronting? Why are you fronting? Like, why are you coming to black men's channels talking about the high? Like, what is the point of that? There is no point. To make black men jealous? Is that what you're trying to do? Y'all have been trying to do that. Black men don't see these guys as sexual threats. It doesn't matter. Now I know you can't you make yourself because parents are talking about on and this is on Red Supreme shit. Black women look desperate asking black men for love. Well, you think you all don't look desperate bleaching your skin? You don't think you look desperate wearing weave? You think you don't look desperate getting your body done? You don't think you look desperate going dealing with other races and talking about black men so much they divorce you, Kerrison? You don't think that looks desperate? You think a baby daddy don't think you desperate when you dating another nigga, but he know you still fucking him? Or you still talking about what you don't like about him? At the end of the day, he's still pimping you. Because you got another nigga to raise his kid. You can try to change his name and do whatever the fuck you want to do. That shit don't matter. That dude is like one of the strongest social media dudes out right now. See? Now you compare that to what these NBA, and this is actually really, really interesting because a lot of these soccer players get paid on par with what NBA players get paid. They're right there because they're pulling from a globe. And this tells you everything about culture. This say, okay, equalize the money and let's see what they pick. And if you look at a lot of these Africans like Joel Embiid. Who did Joel Embiid get with? Kerry Hilson. A lot of these, not Joel Embiid, Serge Ibaka. But Serge Ibaka is younger than Kerry Hilson. This is where the culture manifests. Now, here's the thing. If these females are all of that and a bag of chips, if these women are all of that in a bag of chips, I'm talking about women like Kerry Hilson on them, why can't they get dudes like this? Why isn't black women that are in Hollywood on the international market for guys like this? Why? Yeah, you're right, James. They do get paid more. Why? Why don't you see any of these females dating a dude like that? You ain't never heard of no black woman dating none of these pro athletes overseas that get anything similar. And let's keep it real, NFL players don't get paid like that. Not really. You don't never see that. This was a great video. I'm not really trying to show the I'm trying to show the black people. Now look at what the NFL players are dating. They dating what they know. And they're dating what they know. And when you look at who they having kids with, Steven Jackson, all of them, they're having kids with the same that's why when motherfuckers talk about black men are abandoning you, no, they're not. They're having kids with the same hood rats. I mean, look, shout out to LeBron James's wife, because at least she stays down. I'm not gonna hate. But she ain't like a complete culture opposite of LeBron's mama. She just ain't as nowhere near as fucked up. So my point is, when you take things out of an international perspective, why do you think these dudes overseas ain't even checking for like these UK niggas don't even be checking for black women like that? And it's not so much because they black, but culturally that's just not gonna work. It's just not. It's just not. Because these women, because a lot, and look, there's some, but these women, but I'm not going to act like some of the women in our space are ADOS because some of them are not ADOS. Well, what about Kendra? Kendra's Nation Islam. To me, to me, to a certain extent, that don't even count because that might as well be a completely different culture. When you look at Chandra and them, that's a different culture. I mean, yes, that's ADOS, but most ADOS people ain't, vast majority of ADOS people don't buy into Nation Islam because it's too much control. That's how they perceive it. Shout out to them. That's why when you get dudes that try to speak on shit and they talk about I'm in the nation, I'm like, that shit don't matter because you talk about women that fundamentally reject how you do things. So it doesn't matter what you say. So when you come in here about, oh, a nation, that doesn't matter because these women they're not loyal to that. That's too much control. That's like you talking to witches about Christianity. No, it's not going to work. They got to buy into that. So at the end of the day, this is why more dudes need to travel. Like even when it comes to soccer, they need to see this stuff. But you got dudes that are literally fighting black men for this. And it's because as much as they talk about that bitch, they want to hold on to that bitch. I remember one of my first experiences, me going overseas, and I turned on CNN International. Very beautiful black woman. And this was in Manila. Even if you keep it black, your whole entire mentality will change. Is everything perfect? No. There's fuckery everywhere. But the laws ain't the same everywhere either. That's another thing a lot of y'all don't understand. The fucking laws are not the same. So it takes a certain level of economics in order to get the ability to get out of the United States. Just like it takes a certain amount of rocket fuel to get your ass out of the fucking Earth's orbit. That's what it is. America's social orbit. And then when you get an ability to come in and out of that, you're a different person. I don't give a fuck if you fuck it or not. Because everybody wants to make people talk about traveling as this desperate attempt for sex. You don't need to leave the country to fuck these bitches. You don't. I'm not even talking about child support. I'm talking about, but a lot of these laws are not draconian like that. They're not. So again, I mean, we talked about a lot of things. I'm about to end this. I appreciate y'all super chats and everything. Appreciate GL for the $25. Much appreciated. Exactly, Skillmonger. But I'm going to share this video. Shout out to Pablo. Y'all should be subscribed to Pablo. Pablo be doing some really good content. And this is from a guy that definitely lives what he talks. And those guys should definitely be promoted because they can back up what they're talking about. Definitely. I won't say black women are not promoted overseas. It depends on the area. But the thing about it is, knockout, yeah, but it's also very dangerous. It's penis enlargement surgery is nowhere is not like, it's pretty much on par with a lot of these surgeries that these women get. But the problem is, you really want to do that, dudes are not doing that unless they got some serious issue they got to get dealt with. So SYSBM is not about saying black women are bad. What it's about saying is I'm taking control of my choice. My choice is my choice. And if you want me, well, you're going to have to fucking earn it. If you don't, it is what it is. Anyway. All right, y'all. Like I said, I appreciate it. You know, with that being said, we're going to end this video. Make sure I appreciate y'all coming through. We're at 162. You got more dudes getting vasectomies than anything. And women, and I love when women talk about, oh, well, men need to just get more vasectomies. I'm like, yo, men don't need to get vasectomies because you don't know how to control your pussy. Like, the truth is, any woman talk about a man needs to get a vasectomy, you already know that woman doesn't like condoms. And if she don't, like, you know, you already know that. And a lot of these chicks, what they don't tell you is a lot of these chicks wearing all these fucking condoms, these be that 50% of chicks that had an STD and shit. Like, real talk. These hoes out here fucking raw. No, Archer, Marcus used to fuck with women that way because women would literally tell Archer, Marcus A. Brown, that he thought, and if I find that video about him talking about the vasectomy, I'm gonna post it too. Talking about, they would tell him she's pregnant and they think it's his, and then he would let them hold that for a second and then say, look, I got a vasectomy, so I already know what that is, and then they just stop talking to him. These bitches be lying. These bitches be lying. Like, they really do. Exactly, Archer. These women and that's one thing black women gotta stop lying about. Like, this lie that black women want to get married. Like, black women need to stop lying because we all know that ain't true. I don't even know why you out here lying. They trying to do that so they can maintain the saying that black men are victimizing them by not staying with them. I'm like, bitch, you're qualified for sex. You're not qualified for a relationship. Well, these men control relationships. Exactly. Just like you control sexual access. And just like how you only giving up sexual access to the niggas you want to fuck, dudes are only getting in a relationship with niggas they want to get in a relationship with. You could cry, scream, yell, curse God, do whatever the fuck you want to do. But the game is the game. That works both ways. And that y'all want to talk about, oh, well, child support because these men are taking care of their kids. No, most men don't have kids. And that's a big reason why y'all can't get babies out of a lot of these dudes. Because a lot of these dudes already understand the mentality y'all have with child support. Like, when you heard that woman, Anna, speak, I'm like, bitch, you hate black men. Why do you even date black men? I don't give a fuck about what you tell yourself. Black men are not going to change for you. Period. And that's exactly what I would say. Like, let me be on that bitch and talk to her. I'd say it straight up. I say, well, you're not a man. Well, you know what? Me not being a man ain't gonna change your baby daddy for fucking with you like that. That ain't gonna change your own shit. So at the end of the day, you know, you can say what I am or I ain't all day, every day. I don't, bitch, that shit ends when I end this conversation. But at the end of truth be told, that's what I would have fucking asked her. I'd be like, why do you even date black? Do you still? So I would be like, Anna, do you still date black men? And she can only go two ways with that. She could either say no, in which I'm like, so why do you even care? Why do you talk about black men? Why do you care about? Why do you talk about black men? Why do you even care about what black men do? Why aren't you living your life? Why are you wasting your life worrying about what black men do? You really think somebody's gonna find your channel and somebody's gonna change? Well, I do this for other women. Okay, cool. You think cool. You think the shit you say is gonna stop black women from not fucking niggas? Fucking niggas that they like. I don't know where she is, Angela. I wouldn't think she's in Canada though, because Canada got some crazy laws. But I would be straight up. Because even if you're saying you're doing this to help other women, fine. Those women are going to be fucking black men if they want. Point blank, period. They're going to throw pussy at them. Because none of y'all never tell black women to not have sex with black men that you're sexually attracted to. I have not heard none of these hoes say that. Paris, Karis, and Cynthia G, all of them. The dudes that they want to have sex with, I have never heard them say, do not have sex with these men. They ain't shit. I'm not saying they have sex with dudes they're not attracted to. But you've never heard these women say that. I'm like, look, you're gonna fuck the niggas you like. Black men know this. So we know if you down to fuck, all that bullshit you say online don't matter. It don't. We know this. So we know to call your bluff. We're calling your bluff. Well, we're gonna get me a white man. Go. Bitch, I will help you. I will give you some tips. Germans and Italians, start there. Overseas. Black women are talking about pretty privilege or black American privilege in France. Go to France too. Go deal with Roa Lori Cutno. She'll deal you with that. I'll help you. I'd rather you do that and shut the fuck up. But can you get it? Or are you going to be like Lonnie Love with some raggedy ass white dude that's a painter or some shit? Or dealing with some Chet Hanks dude? Or dude, you got to build up anyway like the Gary Owens type. Go. But you'll never hear a black woman saying, go get that white woman. Go get that Latin woman. You'll never hear them say that. You know why? Because they know a lot of these dudes can. They know that if a lot of these dudes got their money up and stuff like that, these women would be a lot more agreeable with them. They know that. And this is why a lot of black women don't even want black men to be high value men. If being a high value man means that black women don't qualify for that guy, they'd rather you stay raggedy as fuck. Which is why they don't encourage you as much as they think. They want a ready-made nigga that wants you. They don't want them men to improve and then they got to qualify for the improved dude. They don't want that. And by the way, they don't want to be with you while you're improving. They want you to be ready-made and pick them and take them as they are. If you're not going to take them as they are, they really could care less about what you do because you're worthless to them. Because at that point, you're not going to simp. They'd rather stay below them so you can simp to them. They'd rather you give them energy, so narcissistic energy, so they say you ain't shit, than see you with another motherfucker. I don't care if they think they look better. These women love talking about, well, black men get women and look worse than white women that look worse than black women. That's a commentary on you, because those dudes, for the most part, are still that woman is getting something out of that dude. That's a commentary, like with Ghost from Power. Amari Haldrick. Black women stay trying to clown his wife. But guess what? Amari is loyal to his wife because his wife was loyal to him when he had nothing. So while he becomes the thug in a suit that y'all worship, his white wife is benefiting from that show. And you notice how when you all try to disrespect his wife, he may not check y'all because he know he needs to make money off of y'all. But guess what? You ain't heard about him cheating on his wife unless y'all want to put that in the comment section. Let's call that what that is. That's a commentary on y'all. Y'all can say it's something wrong with him all he wants to. He's doing just fine. Just like his wife. Same thing with Kobe. Kobe did a lot for black women. Kobe did a lot for the WNBA. These didn't get no credit from that. And look at what his wife is doing now. And his wife had the opportunity to take all his shit. She stayed. A lot of you women would have ran. And to be fair, white women would have too, because they have McKinsey, all of them. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. She would have rather have him alive because she wouldn't even have to manage. She's got to manage a lot of this stuff. So the thing about it is, and that's not even true. That like bullshit that black women wouldn't be bitching as much as they are if they saw that the niggas they want are not with unattractive white women. I see that's that bull. They I don't even know why you lying. Like if you think I'm a liar, if you any woman is listening to me and you say I'm a fucking liar, just like how there's some black woman and white man TikTok videos, I will go. There's some TikTok videos that are multiple. They're north of 1 million channels. That's got a black man and a white woman. Like, do not play with me. I know like 10. I will go get them. Y'all better stop. And are these like drop dead like 10s? No, but they're definitely like 7s and 8s or 7s. They're definitely look. At the end of the day, it don't matter how you attractive a black woman thinks a fucking woman is. What matters is that man happy with her. Period. Like when dudes are doing that, dudes have nothing to prove to you. But see, this is all this insecurity bullshit. And really, black men can engage. But when black men stop playing with black women and they get left alone with that bullshit, I mean, really left alone, then it starts bothering them for real, which is why you got these TikTok videos of them crying. And a lot of that is not even black men as a group rejecting them yet. A lot of that is the nigga they want. They shot and got rejected. And they can't take rejection, so they get on TikTok or they get on social media crying like some children. Rather than taking that L in silence, they need somebody to tell them it's going to be okay. And a lot of you bitches ain't got no real friends. Y'all got phony friends, so y'all get on social media looking for social media as a pick-me-up. That's why y'all come over here and y'all expect niggas to be telling y'all, oh, you a queen, you this, we got to protect you, provide. Look, man, I believe in protected black women are on the team. And the ones that are not, y'all can go on somewhere. I'm not saying fuck you. I wish you have a great life. But protection, provision, attention is a finite resource. That's a finite resource. We ain't got time to be spreading that out. I'd rather give it to the women that actually are on the team and not bringing a whole bunch of bullshit. This is why you got black women talking about TikTok dances, and they talking about being on strike with TikTok as if TikTok giving a fuck about what some bitches are crying about in the United States. But TikTok's the international app. They care about Trump fucking turning the app off the United States more than that. What are we talking about? Like all of this shit, you know, dudes. The only reason why dudes even tolerate that shit is for sexual access. And this is why I keep telling dudes, like you could fit if you all need to stop this bullshit where you think giving black women attention and this idea of what you think loyalty is. If we're gonna have a pro-black conversation, fine, we can have that when it comes to genetic legacy. But when it comes to but outside of having a black kid, no. That woman has to earn your shit. And you don't do that by nobody's saying that you need to go MGTOW or go your own way and don't fuck. No, you expand the board. As a man, you can do that. Well, women can do. No, they can't, because number one, women opening themselves up for sexual access is not the same as a man doing that. That's not the same, because men and women are not the same. So if you notice, a lot of these women, because all women that date out are not worried about, are in this sector talking about black men. There's plenty of these women that date out. That's just what they do and who they are. That's just they found somebody they liked. But the women that are playing this, I'm dating white men, or white men want me because they want to make black men jealous. Yeah, we should start to save yourself, black woman. Black men need to push black women out. We need to make it very clear. If you don't want to stay, it is not black men keeping you here. Fuck the pro-blacks. Like, if niggas ain't shit, then you need to go be great. You only get one life to live. Well, black people need to be together. No, they don't. Black men, black people, if black people do not want to be together because black women are not really willing to to be honest about what the problems are, this little stalemate bullshit, this World War I trench warfare shit, no. I'm all for black women going being great. Shout out to Tasha K, who did the intercultural dating thing. Does Tasha K not seem like she's a happier female? The same women attacking Tasha K over Cardi B. They took Cardi B's side over Tasha K. But you telling me believe all black women. If you don't, shut the fuck up. I scrolled down in that damn comment section for like 7 minutes. And every black woman I came across that they looked like they were black, they all went against Tasha K. Y'all always choosing these light-skinned bitches until y'all got to compete with them for a man. Now all of a sudden they the enemy. This chick done called y'all roach. They done called y'all like burnt. And y'all still, because y'all want to be her. I got a video that's going to be coming out soon. And I'm calling it the three horsemen. You know, Lizzo is a manifestation of take me as I am. Cardi B is the manifestation of what black women want to be. Megan Thee Stallion is the manifestation of what black women think they are now. And how that is in there that manipulates them. Like, this shit is like a goddamn blender of like psychotic bullshit. If you actually listen to some of these lyrics that these chicks be listening to from some of your popular people, I mean, this shit is like, it's crazy. No, she's not black. I keep saying that. But these women don't care. These women, like, at the end of the day, they like Beyonce more than Kelly because Beyonce's lighter. They're the ones that buy into that shit. Niggas are just fucking. Y'all the ones that buy into that bullshit. And y'all try to superimpose that on the black men because that's what you care about. I don't care where they go prime time. They just gotta get the fuck out of here. That's all that is. And you already know that, you know, that's all that is. I don't know who Anna is. I think she do sound Hispanic a little bit. And I'm like, if she is, like they didn't, there's certain questions they didn't. I would have got some questions. I was like, so Anna, are you black? Are you Hispanic? Are you mixed or what? Like, I would have got them questions. I've been like, I'm curious. Because what it sounds like is she want to hang with the black bitches and she got with a black dude. Shout out to Aisha for the $5. You know, let me see. Aisha, you put a comment in there. And basically she got a nigga with swag and then that shit didn't work out and now she mad. And so what she's doing is she's raging. That's what that chick was raging. And them niggas just sitting there comfortable as I can be because they used to a bitch losing their goddamn mind. I'm like, are you fucking serious? That shit is annoying as fuck. How can y'all even stand that? Yeah, man, let her talk. Okay, so let's play a game. I'm put in a stopwatch and okay, he said 3:36. Damn, then you got me having to scroll up. At least you told me when it was. It was 3 minutes up. I'm like, let's play a game. You know, let's let her get it all out. So go talk. What do you got to say? And all she would have did was she would have spent the whole time basically going through her thesis. Aisha, you may have to re-put it, man, because I don't see it. Through her thesis about why niggas ain't shit. She would have went on and on and on, and I would have clocked it. And she would have went on and on and on. I said, okay, why do you date black men? Because my baby daddy black, blah blah. I'm like, okay, that's your personal problem. You decided to, you know, do whatever. It didn't work out. So why are you even worried about black men? What you like a customer and you like one of these angry customers, you bought a course and you bought into the sales copy, so now you mad, so now you want to make a anti MLM channel, or you want to make an angry testimonial. That's what Carrots and shit is. It's nothing but a 10-year angry testimonial about the nigga that didn't pick her. These hoes leaving angry testimonials. I'm like, I'm like, okay, we got it. Niggas ain't shit. The whole society has been told black men ain't shit since this country was founded. There's laws created around niggas ain't shit. Black men have been killed because niggas ain't shit. Supposedly, towns have been destroyed. Like, that's like talking about Christianity. There's nobody that doesn't know the good news. There's nobody that doesn't know who Jesus Christ is generally on this planet. What are we talking about? So, Nick, you're right. Niggas ain't shit. So, what are you going to do? Well, I got to tell other women about what you would do and try to flip it. Well, you always talk about women ain't shit. Well, these niggas are stupid. That's the difference. Are you saying black women are stupid? We got to tell them about these hoes because these niggas are dumb. These niggas look at these chicks through the eyes of their mama. So, my excuse is black men are dumb. So what's your excuse? Are you saying black women are dumb? Is that what you're saying? The black women are stupid? Because black women have known for 2 generations now that black men ain't shit. Yet they still having babies with them. The only reason why more babies are not produced is really not because black women are not having less kids. It's black men black men are having less kids with y'all. It ain't that y'all are just choosing niggas, because if it's that y'all just choosing the best niggas, then y'all would think that if y'all got more than one kid, one of these niggas would be a kid that they got some paper. Y'all talk about the child support y'all not getting. Y'all ain't getting child support because these niggas ain't got no money. So when I look at the niggas y'all having babies by, clearly y'all are not in a goddamn buffet where y'all are choosing the best cuts. So what? Why don't you date out? Like, why are you not dating out? Why are you not dating out? There's plenty of other guys. Why are you not dating out? Like, that's what I would have flipped it on that. Fuck the bullshit. Are you still dating black men? And if she would have said, like, I'm not, then why are you here? Why are you talking about what black men don't do if you don't deal with black men like that? What investment do you have? I mean, you notice that all these channels that they talk this type of shit, they never explain any of that. Because a lot of the women that listen to them still date black men. A lot of these women, they're listening to black. I'm like, do you not understand that your relationship with the nigga that you dealing with? Because when you actually talk to some of these chicks, some of these chicks are in much better situations than the women that they're listening to. Yeah, you listening to these bitches. And I'm straight up. If I was dating a chick and I found out they were listening to certain women, I say, look, bitch, you either gonna not listen to them or we breaking up right now. But don't you have a baby? No, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, straight up, I'm out. And I'd rather tell you that to your face than start cheating on your ass. No. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're not talking about black men. They're talking about me. Because that's the only reason why you would listen to them. So, no. And I'd be like, look, that's what that is. Point blank, period. Y'all in relationships with black men. And here's the thing. Let's say they're in relationships with white men. Y'all are in relationships with white men, or Hispanic men, yet y'all have this anger and this hatred towards black men, which means y'all are not really invested in that relationship. This is why you notice how a lot of these non-black motherfuckers that be killing black men, they be having black girlfriends and shit. Even some of the police. That's bullshit, as they try to say that. That's bullshit. As I know, I agree that that's what they say, but that's bullshit. Because truth be told, that doesn't get around the fact that's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, if I date, think about this. Let's say I like white women and I don't like black women. And if I'm sitting here constantly talking about white women all the time, and I say, well, white women talk about me, then a woman is going to suspect that. Or if I say I'm still talking about my baby mama, because my baby mama always talking shit about me to people I know. No, a black woman is going to feel some type of way about that. So when you all say, "Oh, but we talk," that's bullshit. Because the truth, that's bullshit. That's some shit they say, and I'm like, look, you can tell yourself that. You can tell yourself that, but y'all was talking about black men way before there was even social media. Black men were being like, social media is relatively new. Like this shit is relatively 6-7 years old. Y'all was talking shit when we weren't even talking shit about y'all. So I already know that's not true. That's just some shit y'all say to get around it. But the reality of the situation is, and I would love it. And if a bitch ever said that to me, I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Where your boyfriend at? Where your boyfriend at? Where's this non-black man you talking about? Because I want to know how he feels about you talking about black men all the goddamn time rather than spending time with him. You more worried about making sure everybody know this nigga ain't shit than you are pleasing the man that you with. That's a big reason why white men don't even fuck with black women like that, because they know that you are so invested with black men that even when you hate black men, you ain't giving a fuck about them. You think Eve spends all her time talking about black men? If you're gay, why do you talk about black men then? Because are you one of these I'm gay because I hate black men type of, but you ain't gay? Honestly, you fucking with real gay women, because there's a lot of women that are like they're like Gloria Hopes. They're part-time gay, but then they turn around and they have a baby with a nigga as a sperm donor, or they cheat on they gay girlfriend with a nigga. I've heard those stories. I heard those stories when I Uber drove. Like, again, it becomes this swirl of bullshit because they lie to themselves. Exactly, as you right. They don't do that. Talk about going these non white spaces. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because it really doesn't matter. But ultimately, what it says is, we know y'all not going nowhere. Y'all can run your mouth all you want to. We know if a dude gets in alignment with you want to fuck him, all that bullshit don't mean jack shit. The dudes just need to make sure not to have a baby by you, so you can take that anger and use the state to basically punish him with it. And this is why a lot of black men are just altogether not dealing with y'all, because y'all are not worth the trouble. And y'all want to talk about black men hate y'all. It don't matter. What matters is y'all are not worth the trouble. And rather than you all actually fixing your bullshit, what you all want to do is you want to make it about you. And that's that narcissism fucking with y'all. That's really what that comes down to. And these women ain't gamed y'all up, your mothers. So the only thing y'all know how to do is be angry. And I'm going to tell you, that shit's going to break y'all in half. And that's cool. And it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But anyway, this has been fun. We're 2 hours. That's all that is. Well, I'm not cooking nobody. I'm just telling it like it is, yo. I'm telling it like it is. At the end of the day, you're personally responsible for your own situation. That's true for black men. That's true for black women. And nobody cares about your misery. Nobody cares about, how much y'all want to be woe is me, be a victim. Ultimately, nobody gives a fuck. Like, they really don't. Because dudes really ain't got to be around you. They really don't. A lot of these niggas is goofy. They ain't been nowhere. They in these urban environments. And I'm not even talking about even leaving the United States. They ain't got to be around you. Niggas can move to the fucking suburbs. They really ain't got to be around you like that. And all this anger, this negative emotion, this Sith energy that you all carrying around because you all are just angry, hating, bitter. You hate yourselves. This is for the women that applies. Nobody gives a fuck. They really don't. And the only reason why anybody even fucks with you at all is because dudes are trying to fuck. And it's really getting to the point now where a lot of that anger is starting to manifest in how y'all look. All this y'all scarring yourselves up, cutting yourselves, self-mutilating. People ain't even trying to fuck with y'all like that. They really not. Um, they really not. That's really what it is. And a lot of black men refuse to call black women's bluff. And it's going to be disease that's going to have to do it because a lot of these, Xers and millennials, these niggas are hopeless romantics. And they're just going to have to touch the hot stove enough times where some of them get smart and some of them won't get smart. And unfortunately, some of these dudes, by the time they get smart, they're going to be in situations that they can't get out of. So they're going to have to make some tough decisions. But anyway, y'all, um, this has been great. Make sure you check out the Cash App once again. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.